96. That's how many subscribers I lost when I posted my 7 worst 21 Pilots songs video. And it has a 56% like to dislike ratio, which means a lot of people really hated it. So you know what? Let's do it again. And guys, this video is sponsored by me and the How to Write Lyrics Like 21 Pilots course. You can check out the link in the description down below. It's super inexpensive. It's got 3 hours of content and you will learn everything you need to know to learn how to write lyrics like 21 Pilots. Just the good ones, not the bad ones. My name is Clifford Stummy. I'm the pop song professor. Welcome to my channel where we make English class awesome on weekdays by explaining, sometimes roasting, and sometimes picking apart songs so that we can learn stuff, I guess. That does happen from time to time. But basically, I put out a call to my subscribers asking them for what they thought the 7 worst 21 Pilots lyrics are, and using some of my own research and a little bit of the songs that they suggested. Thanks for the help, by the way, guys. You're awesome. We're gonna go ahead and march through this list. I want to put the caveat out there, though, that I am an enormous 21 Pilots fan. I've been a huge fan for 5 years. I love what they do. They're amazing. The lyrics that this guy puts together are 99% of the time so freaking incredible. My favorite band. So before you get outraged and you're like, this guy is the worst, this channel's so stupid, he's 21 Pilots. Before the raging 12-year-olds try to tear me apart, let me read you a little bit of poetry from one of my favorite poets, Tyler Joseph. Don't trust a perfect person and don't trust a song that's flawless. There's a few songs on this record that feel common. Guys, before I ever criticized Tyler Joseph, he was criticizing himself already. And isn't it kind of a relief to know that he's not perfect, because now we don't have to just sit here waiting for something bad to happen? Anyway, the fanboys and the fangirls are already super mad, so let's jump into this. But one point of order, you guys, you were suggesting lyrics that are bad, and I disagreed with you on a couple. Slow Town, when he says, I put my socks on my feet just so that my soul won't fall through my toes. That's a little bit of like magical realism. It's like an interesting literary like genre. He's trying to make a point through like an exaggerated thing, and so I really like that lyric from Slow Town. So it's not on this list, even though you guys suggested it, and I think it's actually really good. But let's go ahead and jump into number 7. I'll be honest, number 7, 6, and 5 really aren't that bad, but it's fairly local. Yo, this song will never be on the radio. Even if my clique were to pick and the people were to vote, it's the few, the proud, and the emotional. I think the song actually did end up getting on the radio, and for him to say it's the few, the proud, and the emotional, it almost feels like he's sucking up to his fans in a way. Even if in a lot of cases something like that is kind of accurate, kind of true, for him to acknowledge that in a song and to be like, you guys are awesome, and then they're all like, oh no, you're awesome. I didn't really like it. A little bit cringy. Number 6, and the Capster 2 kind of knew that I was going to do this, though. Hold on, Capster, you'll see what's happening in a second. But Heavy Dirty Soul, gangsters don't cry, therefore I'm Mr. Misty-Eyed, therefore I feel like this was leading up to something and then it just fizzled. Gangsters don't cry, therefore I'm Mr. Misty-Eyed. So you're a gangster, so you're trying not to cry. There just was no context and it didn't continue on. It just felt very random and forced. And then we get into number 5, Doubt. And this song, Doubt, is I think my least favorite 21 Pilots song. I'll be completely honest with you. But he says, don't forget a bow wow 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 me. Don't forget a bow wow 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 me in the chorus. And it just felt like the poppiest thing that he could have possibly done to just screw with that word like that. And I understand like the emotional connotations of it and maybe the effect he's trying to give, but I don't like it. And I think that it's just kind of annoying, actually. Then we get into number 4, the Pantaloon. And you guys, a lot of you were saying that the receding hairline was no good, or your grandpa died when you were 9, and I honestly really like those because I feel like he's giving specific details, which maybe the reason people don't like it is because we're not used to specific details in pop songs these days. But the receding hairline, your grandpa died when you were 9, I just felt like we're very upfront and honest, and I really like that. What I didn't like about the Pantaloon is when it feels like he's trying too hard to be upfront and honest, and he goes from like these realistic details that we can imagine to a much more symbolic, realistic detail. A moth ate through your favorite shirt, and all your friends fertilize the ground you walk, lose your mind. It's like he's trying to make you lose your mind, or at least the character in the story. He's like, and the moth eating through your favorite shirt, I feel is just a tad bit overdone. But I feel like it's trying too hard to be dramatic and intense and like this poignant symbol of how, you know, the world is just against you in this situation, but it's it's just a moth eating through your shirt. I feel like it's just a little bit over dramatic. Also, do you guys notice what album I'm not pulling any of these lyrics from yet? Because it's my favorite album. If you know what it is, comment it down below. Don't read other people's, don't cheat. Comment the album that's missing here. But that's because that album's gold. It's absolute gold. All right, number 3, Clear. Then my new father drained my dirty blood. Clear is one of the roughest songs just because it's one of the most overt and the most preachy, or one of the ones where he's trying to get a point across and he tries very hard. And typically Tyler Joseph is at his absolute best when he's just saying something and talking to us, not when he's trying to convince us of something. When he's trying to convince us of something, it comes across just a little bit too heavy. It's kind of like, oh, hold up. I just, I wanted to hear your perspective and your vulnerability and your honesty. And in this case, he's trying to decide, should I tell people I'm a Christian or should I just use symbols in my music? And I'm personally a Christian, so I understand the struggle that he's going through. I just feel like it was a little bit too meta and a little bit too forced. And then you get into this line, then my new father drained my dirty blood. And it's like, all right, you're trying to have it both ways. You're using your symbols and your metaphors, but you're also being super overt about it. And it's not like him, and it's also a little bit of kind of a cliched description of it too, something Tyler's not usually. All right, guys, some of you are tracking with me, some of you are nodding your heads like, okay, yeah, I see where he's coming from, and others of you are like,
let's kill him, I'm gonna destroy him in the comments.
Fair warning, I do read the comments, so my feelings will be hurt. Lol, JK. No, I actually do read the comments, but my feelings aren't gonna be hurt. People can't say worse things to me than they said in the last video. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2. And actually, this is a repeat one. It's one that's come before. This is Heavy Dirty Soul again. This is, in fact, it's an entire stanza from Heavy Dirty Soul. A lot of the bad lines that I did not like from this one were just all stacked together, so let's hear it. And the Capster 2, you're gonna laugh, if I didn't know better, I'd guess you're already dead. Mindless zombies walking around with a limp and a hunch. You guys who have been watching my channel for a while know that I really hate the word zombie in lyrics. I've never really heard it sound good. Saying stuff like, you only live once. You've got one time to figure it out, one time to twist and one time to shout, one time to think and I say we start now, sing it with me if you know what I'm talking about. I don't like this stanza like at all, because first of all, if I didn't know better, I guess you're already dead. So he's again like openly condemning and like getting preachy again. Mindless zombies, don't like the word zombies, walking around with a limp and a hunch, and that is very much a cliched word picture, and so it's a boring image to create. Saying stuff like, you only live once. What is wrong with saying you only live once? I know that some people take it too far, but people are just trying to have fun. If you're gonna criticize and condemn people for something, it's not for saying YOLO. By the way, the Lonely Island video with Adam Levine where they rework the phrase YOLO, you guys have got to watch that video. Just search it in the YouTube bar after you finish watching like 10 more of my videos. One time to twist and one time to shout. You've got one time to figure it out, one time to twist, and one time to shout. I feel like he was thinking to himself, hey, let's try to be like artsy and different and weird, and it comes across as more like he didn't want to put more time to think of a better thing to say. Like, it's just a little bit forced again. And then the last part, sing it with me if you know what I'm talking about. You're singing a song, we're supposed to sing along, but sing it with me, it feels very like cheesy. All right, guys, most of you can probably guess what this one is going to be based on my 7 Worst 21 Pilots songs video, and based on, maybe if you were one of the people who commented, because it is none other. Number 1 is Before You Start Your Day. And Before You Start Your Day is a fine song, even if it's one of my least favorites, but these lines right here, open the slits in your face and start your day. You don't have much time to make your slits look just right. I think that's kind of a slit, and then I'm trying to make my eyes look like slits, but I can't. Open the slits in your face. That is the least poetic, least endearing way I've ever heard eyes and mouths described. And it's like he couldn't get enough. He goes on and uses it again in the next line, make sure your slits look just right. And I think he's talking to a female in that situation, but I think that actually makes it worse, honestly. And let me give you guys a quick lesson here. One of the number 1 mistakes that early songwriters make, and this was from Self-Titled, so it was, still when Tyler was an early songwriter, is they try to sound too interesting. Sometimes you need to just say what is rather than what sounds cool, because it won't always sound cool to everybody. Now, if you're writing for yourself, no big deal, but if you're trying to write in a way that appeals to other people, slits might not be a good way to describe eyes, even if it's maybe the first time anyone in the world has ever done it and you're so interesting and unique. If you guys want to learn how to write lyrics like 21 Pilots, good lyrics, check a link out in the description and you can sign up for my How to Write Lyrics Like 21 Pilots course. Super simple. It's got like 3 hours worth of lessons. We go like super in depth with a lot of the stuff that he does, and it's really, really fun. Guys, those were the 7 worst 21 Pilots lyrics that I could find and that you guys could help me find. Thank you so much for your help, the 140 of you who commented. I wish I could list all of your names. I'm gonna go watch my subscriber count. Woo! And if you liked this video, give it a like, because not a lot of people are going to. So anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you later.